Racism. Let's talk about it today. I think a lot of people in life have been humiliated by people that are racist. Let's talk about what it is. According to dictionaries, the word is commonly used to describe prejudice and discrimination based on race. Racism can also be said to describe a condition in society in which a dominant racial group benefits from the oppression of others, whether that group wants such benefits or not. Racism is a massive thing in this world, and what I definitely can assure you, kid you guys not, where it's really a common thing is in football. Football is probably the most worst place for racism to exist. If you are a minority, then the chances that you will get caught out for being, for example, a monkey is pretty high. And I never understood why people, when a player misses a penalty or something, it's happened often at my lovely club, Old Trafford Man United. People calling Martial a monkey or, oh, go back to your country where you came from. I don't understand why people involve race, colour, religion. I think it's bullshit. It's ridiculous. And I don't claim those supporters. We don't claim those people that are racist. Because we don't judge people, at least I don't judge people based on their colour and religion, etc. Religion is discrimination, not racism, but you get the point. Football is a big thing with racism, not just in the paid world but also in the amateur world. Trust me, I've heard some stuff on the fields as well as a player, because at least in our pools and stuff there is more white players than coloured players, which means that the occasional N-bomb gets dropped by a white player, which I don't condone. I think it's ridiculous. It's disgusting racism, man. The funny thing about it, right, and why I say funny is because UEFA is for racism, but we all know that they do nothing about it. UEFA is literally just money hungry. We all know, if we've been watching football for years, you know how money hungry and greedy the UEFA is. They could give really nothing about people that get discriminated or caught out for this and this and that. They never really do anything about it, so that's why everyone but no one respects UEFA. Have I ever experienced someone being racist to me? I guess you could say so, but more like a joke. I was friends with black kids at my school. Our school was multicultural, which means that not one dominant group, but we had multiple groups. So we had black kids, we had colored kids. And with colored, I mean light skin. Sorry, we're white kids. It was all mixed, and I grew up with that. One of my best friends was a black guy. We would often joke around. He would call me white crack and I'd call him the N-word. And why I say this in the videos because he didn't mind. Because I didn't say it in a negative or bad way. I don't really think that's racist if you guys can cooperate with each other properly and say, yo, what up, my N-man? Or like, what up, white cracker? Or stupid white man, how you doing? You know what I mean? We used to joke around like that as kids. We didn't care about that. We had respect for each other. We had mutual respect because we were friends. We knew each other for years, known personally. But I would never drop the word in public where other people are around because I knew that people wouldn't react good on it. Because, yeah, probably of my skin color, or just because, like, isn't it a bit weird that he says the N-word? You know what I mean? You gotta think about it like that. Your safety is always important, but we used to joke around a lot with that. But we didn't think about it like that, like, oh, this and that. We didn't get a butthurt because I didn't grow up with no goddamn snowflakes like this generation does. Because anything nowadays is racist or discriminating. You know the point. So it's really interesting. Let's actually dive a little bit deeper in it. It's a big thing, racism. You got the KKK, which is the Ku Klux Klans. I don't want to get too much into details about it. If you want to know what it is, search it up in Google. We had apartheid in the 70s, 80s. That's also a form of racism, which basically meant that the white man, the white male, or just the white culture, I guess you could say, didn't like the black culture, the black people. And it's weird. I don't know what I would be like or feel like if I had to grow with that in this society nowadays. It feels weird, and obviously these suppressions do still live in this world nowadays in some countries. Luckily small. Obviously it would be nice if there wasn't any racism, let's be honest here. I think that'd be amazing, but you've got to be realistic. Unfortunately, racism is something that will never go away. It just unfortunately won't. We can all pretend and act like it will, but let's keep it honest here. Who are we fooling here? The racism will never go away. It just won't, because you will always have a group or an individual that is going to be racist. And I honestly don't understand the hate and anger toward people that do these kind of things. I don't understand. I don't get it, but it is what it is, I guess. Maybe I haven't grown up in such environment. Maybe I haven't been taught that this and that about the culture or group is bad. No, because I haven't. I've grown up with black people. I've grown up with their culture, this and that. So, I I can't really be racist because I've grown up with them. I know what they're like. I got a fucking black friend. So how can I be racist, man? You know what I mean? I'm not racist, like I said. I ain't. He's a good friend of mine, by the way. Oh man, this is so. Oh no, I know y'all gonna meme the crap out of this. I'm not racist. I have a black friend. No, but I don't mean like that. I am a very good friend with him. I know of him. He's not really active on WhatsApp because he works a lot outside the season. But very good friend of mine. We grew up with each other, and I fuck with him a lot, man. So alright, this is this. Definition of racism. Let's get the real definition of it, right? A belief that race is a fundamental determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority. Jesus, man. Superior. Can y'all read this shit, man? Fuck does it say? An inherent superiority, thank you, of a particular race. Wow, Latinos elites use racism to justify the displacement and enslavement of the indigenous population, and these beliefs, along with the resentment created by the continued exploitation of indigenous land and labor, Jesus, what are these words, bro? Culminated in the Guatemalan Civil War 1960-1996. How do we begin undoing the process of internalized hatred and internalized racism? Because it's really just hate. There's nothing really else. It's just pure hate for some reason, obviously. You know. Also, behavioral attitudes that reflect and foster this belief, racial discrimination or prejudice. The kind of transient racism to which black people have personally been subjected can never be defeated by making its victims more respectable. The essence of American racism is disrespect. This is by several people. This is Merriam-Webster.com. This is a website talking about racism. Very interesting if you want to go check it out. Wow. From racist graffiti in schools to daily microaggressions and police profiling, which is a big common thing in the USA. Rally testimonials highlighted that issues surrounding racism are still very much local issues. Yeah, local issue, land issue. It's more like, I think, the small places. You know what I mean? The war on drugs cloaked in race-neutral language offered whites opposed to racial reform a unique opportunity to express their hostility towards blacks and black progress without being exposed to the charge of racism. The systemic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and political advantage of another. White supremacy, specifically. Institutional racism. One of the many ruses racism achieves is the virtual erasure of historical contributions by people of color. Let's read the whole complete thing. It's very, very interesting. People of color. Our nation faces a fork in the road and a decision to either continue down the same path of systemic racism or to confront our past honestly. Like, I must be honest, when it comes to like racial profiling, that I've seen it a couple of times. It's ridiculous. I've seen in the past people of color driving in expensive cars. I'm not saying that they necessarily got stopped over the color, but the chance is it's highly likely that you see in the Netherlands here. If you're a white person and you drive a nice Audi or BMW, the chances of you getting put over is smaller than someone who's Turkish or black getting put over if they drive the same car. It's messed up. It's a messed up way of thinking, but a lot of cops are like that. It doesn't necessarily have to do with your driving. It can literally just be because of your skin color. It happened to a ex-football player, Kenneth Vermeer, a couple of years ago. He got racially profiled. Yeah, because he drove a nice BMW. Crazy, man. People of color, low-income people, and indigenous people have been made especially vulnerable through decades of environmental racism. Policies that intentionally concentrate pollution and toxic hazards in our communities. Interesting, very interesting. Wow. A political social system founded on racism and designed to execute its principles. In 1930, the Natives Land Act reserved 90% of the country for whites, who then made up 21% of the population. That's a lot. Under the formalized racism of apartheid, 3.5 million blacks were forcibly moved to isolated reservations called homelands. Now, I don't know what to say. I am kind of speechless. It's really sad when you think about it. When you search up the statistics, it's sad. The fact that this is a thing nowadays still. Same with discrimination. You got positive and negative discrimination. I'm actually kind of speechless. I don't know what to say. Like, for real. I don't know what to say about the apartheid. Apartheid was a thing as well, where the whites just basically ruled over South Africa. I'm not sure if the whole continent in Africa, but at least the country South Africa, it got ruled over by the whites, so the blacks weren't allowed to. Sorry, that sounds a bit rude. The black people weren't allowed. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Black people weren't allowed to hang around or socialize with white people. White people there were like stores for white people only, so black people basically weren't allowed to go near white people, go to the cinema. It's really messed up when you think about it, and I don't understand why it was a thing, and I will never get why apartheid was a thing, because when you think about it, what's the reason that it actually happened and was a thing? Power? Probably power for the whites, and I apologize for that happening. I can't do much about it. It's a sad thing when you think about it. Racism is still a very big thing. Football, society, you name it. God damn it, anywhere in this world right now as I'm speaking, someone's racist or being racist towards another person, an individual or a group. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching this video today on Kiki's podcast. Let me know definitely down in the comments below what you thought about this video. Don't be shy. Let me hear your arguments in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Peace out.